that we are being joined by the media officer of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Promise Ifoge. Thank you so much, Promise, for joining us on the show.
All right, thank you for having me on your program this lovely Monday afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we're honored to have you at this time. So I just read that players were to join camp for Monday. Are there any updates concerning that, and tell us how they're preparing for the friendly?
Yes, a number of players are on their way to Cairo. Let me see if I can reel out a few names for you.
Okay.
We're expecting Wilfred Ndidi any moment from now. Polo Nwachu, Basi, Iwobi, and Oyenka will be arriving any moment from now. You earlier mentioned that we've got 11 players in camp. That's very correct. Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players will be joining in a moment. And so before training time, we should have as much as 16 to 20 players before our first training session later tonight at the Cairo International Stadium. The players will be training at the main bowl of that iconic stadium. That is where the friendly game against Egypt will be played tomorrow night. Coach Eric Shell has said it's not just a friendly. For him, he considers it a training match because there's really nothing at stake. Both sides are preparing for the AFCON. And so it's not a competitive one. It's just one for both sides to test players, especially those who are newbies in the squad. Right.
Promise, I'd like to ask, Nigeria football fans, we are insatiable. And we look at the list. During the qualifiers, a lot of Nigerians complained about some players in the team. Now we've seen new players added to the team. Fans are still talking about the team. What is Eric Shell saying to the boys? And is he instilling a bit of hope in the fans of Nigeria football looking ahead of the tournament? Because a lot of criticism has fallen in the hands of Eric Shell.
Well, one thing I know about life is that no matter what you do and how well you do them, you'll always be criticized. You know, the only time you don't face criticism is when you have your last breath. For Eric Shell, he said that his response to critics will be the performance of the team at the AFCON tournament. If you took note, he's not been speaking to the press. He's not been saying anything. In the aftermath of releasing his final squad list for the AFCON, there's been divergent views, divergent opinions as per his selection of players. But one thing is certain, every football coach lives and dies with their decisions. That's why he's paid. He's paid to make some crucial decisions. He's paid to make those selections. He's paid to take the bull by the horn and do what he thinks is best for his career and for his team. As a football coach, he wants to win at all times. As a football coach, he wants to succeed. He wants to win tournaments. He wants to win competitions. He wants to win every match as they come. And so he would always do what would help him achieve his aims and objectives. Not qualifying for the World Cup is still something Eric Shell is still sulking on. Moving on away from that, he wants to do the best he can for the nation at the AFCON tournament. And so he's taking it a step at a time. Selection of players have been criticized. It's okay for him. But as far as the coach is concerned, he's got his eyes focused on the tournament in Morocco in a few days from now.
Right, Promise, that, there's always stories that fly all around social media, especially in this AI generation. Now, some hours ago, there was a story that we heard, which wasn't confirmed by any source, about DR Congo fielding ineligible players against Nigeria. But FIFA hasn't said anything, the NFF hasn't said anything, and no major media organization has said anything about that. Have you heard anything? Is there any updates from camp? Have you heard anything about that story?
Udoka, you say no major media organization has said anything about it. What are you saying about it? What have you said about it?
It is just reports.
Of course, and what we saw making the rounds on social media, of course, a lot of them say that the NFF are working towards making sure that they see the end of this. We need to know, what are you hearing in camp? But there are conversations around this alleged ineligible player that was fielded by DR Congo.
Well, the only conversation here in camp is the Africa Cup of Nations.
Right.
That's why we're here in Cairo. You know, everything we're talking about here is centered around how well we can do at the AFCON. Remember, we got to the final the last time. Anything short of that is not what we want. We want to go one better than the final last year. And so every conversation here is centered around the AFCON. We had a meeting yesterday, which was anchored by head coach Eric Schell, and every bit of the conversation was centered around what we need to do to excel at the Nations Cup. Because having missed out of the World Cup, the only way that respite can be brought is to win the Africa Cup of Nations. Is that possible? Yes, very possible. We've got the materials, we've got the expertise, we've got the players. And so I can tell you for free that every conversation here is centered around the AFCON. What's happening outside of Cairo, my brother, I don't know.
All right.
This year is the AFCON, preparations for the AFCON. I'm worried about the logistical issues our players getting into Cairo from all around Europe. We only have 11 players in camp. At this time, we should be having all our players in camp already. But plenty of flight cancellations, plenty of flight delays, it's really affecting the assemblage of our players. That's what I'm worried about. That's what the team is worried about. We are trying to ensure that we get every player here in Cairo right on time before the game against Egypt tomorrow, and ensure that everyone is here before we take our leave to Fez sometime on Thursday later this week.
Okay, but I would really like to get updates around the new invites, how they're acclimatizing in the sport. We know Ebenezer, the likes of Ebenezer Akinsanmiro, of course, joining up with the senior national team. How are they acclimatizing with the others?
Well, it's normal to feel some type of way where you are in a new environment, but it's also professional to be able to, get yourself acquainted when you find yourself in a very, very new situation. These are professional players, and we, as backroom staff, are doing everything possible to make these new guys very comfortable. The older players are also doing everything possible to make them comfortable in camp. I sent out, or rather, I will be sending out an exclusive interview with Ebenezer Akinsanmiro in a few moments from now.
You can send that to News Central first. Thank you.
Where he said he's excited to be with the Super Eagles. For him, it's a dream come true. He said he's always wanted to play for the national team. He thought he would have featured for the under-17s or the under-20s. He thought he was good enough for that. But when he was rejected, at some point, according to him, he almost gave up on football. But here he is playing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and he's excited to do so. I've had conversations with Tochukwu Nnadi, and he's a very calm guy. He looks like one who is very shy, but I don't think he's shy on the pitch. That's a guy who's picked up Man of the Match award about twice back-to-back in Belgium before he was invited to the Super Eagles camp. And so they are getting along, and they will get better as days go by.
All right, so lastly, for journalists who want to make it down to Morocco, been a lot of challenges on the applying for accreditation and also receiving the e-visas. Is there anything you can tell us, any process that we can follow to ensure clarification on how to get to Morocco for the tournament?
As regards the e-visas, I really have no direct link, conversation, or information as regards that. When it comes to the media accreditation, I understand that a number of persons were denied accreditation, and I got in touch with the CAF media office and had conversations with them, and hundreds of Nigerian journalists who were denied accreditation have been accredited. I still got, a number of messages this morning, colleagues who sent me messages confirming that their initially denied accreditations have been approved. Right. And so we are trying our best to ensure that we've got as many number of Nigerian journalists in Morocco to cover the tournament.
All right, so thank you very much, Promise Ofoge. Looking forward to that friendly game between Nigeria and Egypt. Wishing the Super Eagles all the best. And of course, at the AFCON, hoping that we can go all the way. Thank you for joining.
It's a practice match.
Yes.
So Nigeria should not expect one Super Eagles team that will play like Barcelona or play like Atletico Madrid.
Definitely.
You know, I think as many changes will be allowed in that game.
Yes, should be.
As a matter of fact, you can change your entire 11.
Yes.
You know, so it's like a training.
Yeah.
You know, the training game between both sides actually.
All right, thank you. We look forward to that one as well. Thank you very much for joining.
All right, thank you so much, Udoka. Thank you so much.